Welcome to Talking Maine. I'm Tom Saviello, and Chandler Woodcock's off playing with orangutans, or sun bears, not bears, bears. Ruby, thanks for coming back on the show again.
Thank you for having me.
We had a great time last week talking about cheetahs. And you did have, well, before we do that though, I think so that everybody that may have missed the first show, let's talk about who Ruby is and how you got into this. Just a little bit of an overview, because we'll talk about, we have a correction from the cheetah show, I believe, that we want to make. That's very, very important. But who's Ruby Rubin? How did you get into this animal business?
Well, I've always loved animals. And a couple years ago, I joined a program called Communication with All Life University. And it's studying how to communicate with animals and I took the conservation route to sort of help be a mediator between what's going on out there and helping people get more involved.
And in this, you've really learned, you took a trip with this, or took a number of trips with this class around the world to see different animal places.
Yes.
So just briefly talk about that a little bit too.
Well, the first trip we took was in South Africa in the Timbavardi region, and we were with Linda Tucker, who works with white lions, and hoping that they become more plentiful because they are becoming extinct. And then we went back to South Africa. We went to Namibia and Botswana and worked with some other animals, some amazing people out there that have such passion for animals and keeping their welfare.
And we're going to do a show on the white lions later on
Yeah,
another time, because this time we're going to talk about orangutans and we're going to talk about sun bears.
Yes.
So let's go to that. You went to Borneo, and I think we got a map of Borneo that's up there. It's on the top. So, and Borneo is got 3 countries on it, correct?
It does, and it's the 3rd largest island in the world, and it's in the South China Sea. It's off the coast of Malaysia. And that's where most of the orangutans and sun bears live.
Now, the Borneo is divided into 3 countries. So, which country are the orangutans, and are they
mainly the Malaysian country?
The Malaysian country. Are they endangered?
They are.
They are. Too.
They are, and so are sun bears. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And so again, well, we talked about the cheetahs, and let's go back to that in a second. But you have gone to a refuge where they're trying to rehabilitate them here too. But we do have one correction on cheetahs that we want. It's very important, because I think I asked the question: are they endangered?
And they are endangered. They are very much endangered. So we have to really protect them. Yes.
And that's kind of scary, because cheetahs, I can still remember, and like you said last time, they're the fastest animal that's out there, and I can remember studying that and having the picture of man going about that fast and the cheetah going about that fast. It's like, okay, I think we'd be in deep trouble if I ran into that guy.
Yeah.
So, which one are we going to start with?
Orangutans.
Orangutans. So, tell us about where you went and what orangutans are about.
So we were in the rainforest, 130 million year old rainforest.
Wow.
And you just can't imagine the growth and the size of everything there. But the island is just an island, so it does have a certain amount of space, and the orangutans are losing their habitats, so as are the sun bears, by palm oil plantation mainly, that are coming in and planting. And orangutans are known as the person of the forest.
Person of the forest, because they look like a person and they act like one?
Well, we have 97% the same DNA as they do.
You talked about the forest. So that's one of the trees. This is one of the trees that's in the forest.
I'm at the base of that tree, and it just keeps going up.
You know, I had the opportunity years ago to go to Washington. I had to go to Vancouver, and there's a picture too of the person of the forest.
Yes.
So they're kind of cute. Kind of look like JP a little bit, don't you think? I think the top one. Victor, you think they look like JP? Just nod your.
Yeah, they're pretty cute.
You're right. Yeah, pretty cute. No, I don't say that. Well, let's hold the pictures. Go ahead.
This little one here, Peanut, actually part of what this program does is you can adopt an orangutan and you can learn about what happened to them and as they grow. Peanut here is one I adopted. And she was found on the side of a palm oil plantation. Her mom had died, and she was very, very sick. And they took her into there and nursed her. She got malaria. They get very much the same diseases we do. Yes. And they weren't quite sure she'd be able to get back into the wild. We're still not sure. She missed that time with her mom to learn how to hang and to grow, and that's what they have to do to live.
So she didn't get to really imprint on what her mother could do and teach her how to do stuff like that.
No, not at all. So she's in part now. This older one, you can see the flange around them.
His beard.
That is a
the flange
male.
around the
A
head.
male.
Thank you.
That is definitely a male. All that extra skin around the face that's a male orangutan.
So it's not the beard. I was thinking it's the beard.
No,
it's
no,
the
it's the extra
like
skin.
The skin
Yeah,
that goes
like
around it. Wow. How old would that guy be?
Well, they live to about 25, 30 years old. So I'm not quite sure. He's an older one. Now this group here is obviously in the habitat where they're growing and they're learning how to get back into the wild. And they have set up platforms and playgrounds and places to climb. And this is Peanut growing up. And Peanut hadn't learned how to really hang on and swing. So one of the other members there, orangutan members there, became his big brother.
Really?
And is teaching him how to do all of that.
So there's him kind of swinging around, or is that his brother?
There's one of them swinging around. I'm not sure which one that is.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So he actually took him under his wing.
Yeah.
Was it kind of planned, or planned in the sense that they placed Peanut in a position that this orangutan recognized that he needed to do that? Why don't we hold the pictures for a minute, JP, so we can kind of just talk a little bit about Peanut, because I want to understand about that guy a little bit more.
Yeah. No, it just happened. It was an older orang, older than Peanut, and just said, come here, let me teach you. Because actually the humans were out there trying to get him to hold on, and then trying to get him, and they were encouraging him, and he would just stand there. And all of a sudden, this older orang came over and said, come on, let's go play.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was really cool to see.
So now this older orang is one that they probably can't put in the wild either?
They're probably not, because of the age, and he's been there a while. But they have a graduation area. They have like an area, like a playground, where you saw that they had the platform and the tires and all this stuff. And then they take them to more of a wild area where they're still helping them gather the food for them. So they have high platforms in the trees, and workers will come, and you'll see a video in a little while where they'll have a mask on. And because we can pick up the same diseases that they have, and they can pick up the diseases from us. We're 97% the same DNA.
Wow.
So the worker will bring, a big basket of bananas on the platform, and their orangs learn how to swing over and get to the platform, and then the monkeys will come and go, okay, what are you going to give me,
The monkeys in the recovery too, or are they just
No, it's just in the wild, yeah.
When this, like the other one, the other refuge we talked about, there was a couple ladies that were running that. Who's running this one?
This is called the orangutan. It's a whole group of people. It's not one person.
Not one person.
Yeah, the Sun Bears is one man who started it, but this is a whole group of people who are very interested in keeping the orangutans.
And are they natives? Are they native?
Most of them are,
wow,
yes.
So they recognize it. And they don't have the same issue that we had with the cheetahs, where they were thought of destroying the goat crops.
No.
This is the goat crops. That's right, Tom. The goats is where the community became involved, because this is a good way for them to communicate back and forth. That wasn't necessarily the cheetah that did the damage.
Right.
In this case, I would assume these guys don't really go in and destroy anything in the village. They just kind of hang out in the woods. Yeah. Cool. So we did have a picture of Peanut eating something, I think, a minute ago. We can probably go back up to that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Peanut. How old is Peanut now? So we can hold that picture for a minute. That's kind of a good picture.
Well, what's sort of interesting is I didn't realize Peanut was fairly famous. And on YouTube, you can look up Peanut, the orangutan from Borneo, and you'll hear the whole story about Peanut. It's absolutely fascinating.
Really?
Yeah.
So that is on YouTube. So if you go onto YouTube and type the word in, Peanut the orangutan, so how many people have adopted Peanut besides you?
I don't know.
Oh,
but there's a lot of different ways you can help out as well. And one is adopting, and then they send you pictures and they send you updates, and so you're helping.
So and this is really important, I think, for people. So if I wanted to donate to this or be adopt something, how would I do that? Would I contact you? Was that
On my website. It's all on my
and we
website.
see, it's right,
It's
still
right
there.
there. Yeah,
See, Ruby, it's right there. The cccglobal.earth, and
Yes.
your phone number's there. So
Yeah.
what would it entail? I mean, this fascinates me to adopt an orangutan.
You just would connect with them on the website, or you can call them. And there's lots of different ways you can do that. Like you can either just offer, different programs they have. Yeah, that you
can
can
send them
help
some
to.
bananas instead of chocolate chip cookies.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. Wow. All right. What other? Do we have some other pictures of orangutans?
Yeah, we've got some videos as well.
Okay, why don't we run
Yeah.
one of the videos? I
Okay.
think it would be kind of fun
Sounds
to see for
great.
people to see orangutans in action.
Yeah.
Oh, here they are. If we can look now.
Yeah, so this is in the center where they're rehabbing them. And these two are just playing, and I mean, they're just so human-like.
Wow. Are they pretty docile? I mean, do they let you touch them and handle them, or do they pretty much
No, not like the last week when we were talking about the baboons. These, we want to keep as little human
Human touch.
imprint. We want them to get back in the wild. Something fascinating about them is orangutans build at least 2 nests a day.
2 nests a day?
They take a nap in the middle of the day, and then they will sleep in a nest, and they never use the same nest again.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. But how far apart would the nests be? I mean, here these are great pictures of them swinging. So this is the kind of thing that
This
we
is
could
the
get.
rehab.
If we get Victor out there, he could probably show them how to swing, or JP. So how big an acreage do they have for this if these guys are moving their nests every day?
They have, well, it's an island still, and it is getting smaller and that's the problem. In the last 3 decades, they've lost 30% of the orangutan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but they do, the nests are sort of, they bend the leaves, the branches over, and they get,
So it's not a real nest.
It probably eventually might bounce back
back.
a little bit, but they don't use the same ones.
Maybe I'll come back. Here's another picture of an orangutan upside down eating bananas or something. Oh,
That's amazing. They've got like 4, they use all the feet, the hands, for everything.
if there's such thing as reincarnation, maybe I want to come back as an orangutan. If I can take naps twice a day, that'd be good. Oh,
Now,
wow.
this was a place that I was staying, and this is in the wild.
Wow.
He just decided to walk in and walk down the path, and then we're back into the.
So he can get in and out of this refuge too if he wanted to?
He was wild.
He was
That
wild.
one was wild.
Oh.
Just walked right into our little. We were having breakfast, and he was over there in the trees having figs.
It's like having a deer come into your yard or a moose come into your yard while you're
Exactly.
eating. Wow.
Exactly. So this is Peanut. He's just not moving around a bunch, but he's getting there. He's getting there. He's getting better.
So at least he's holding on to the vines that
Yeah.
are coming down. So he's got the idea. Well, I'm supposed to hold on to it.
Yes. Yes.
And this is some of the vegetation that's there in the rainforest.
This is the vegetation. You have to look really hard when you're. This is the platform. You have to look really hard where they are. So he's learned how to do that. Here's the platform with the helper that's got protection for himself. He's just filled the basket with bananas. And the orang is going to, I don't know if this one has the monkeys come up, but usually the monkeys will come up and just sit there and ask the orangutan, "Are you finished? Can I have some?"
Wow.
Now this is in the wild, and you really have to look. This is early morning, and this is a mother and a child. And they move incredibly slow in the morning. They stretch, they take their time. The mother's a bridge for the baby to get up there, and this is what Peanut missed.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because he would be there, and he would be following what she does.
Right. At this stage, Peanut was very sick and on the side of a palm oil plantation.
So they're eating figs, wild figs, and
Wild
figs
figs.
and wild bananas, or other fruit like that.
Yeah, all the fruit on the trees, they just bend down and
Wow.
yeah.
Geez, that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
And so how long do you know that they stay with their mother before they kind of go out on their own?
About 2 years.
About 2 years.
Yeah.
And so they're 2 years, and then they kind of just go their own way.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
And
that's
they have
pretty
their
cool.
own little territories.
And do they run as a group, or do they just run individually?
They're pretty much solo. Same with the sun bears. They're very solo animals as well.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Yep, there's a picture of one of them. So that around that kind of cartilage-looking ears, or
Yeah,
that's his.
that is a male.
Wow.
That is a male.
So
And
the
he is
females don't have that.
No, and he is pulling down. You can see the tiny little fruit on the right side of the.
Yeah.
Those are little figs,
Oh, no kidding.
and he will gently just take those figs off the vine.
So he's a vegetarian, basically.
Yeah.
Wow. And there's some more pictures of them in the trees. That's cool. I think I can see him hanging in the very middle of the picture, all the way in the back. There's an arm up in the air.
Yeah,
I bet you that's one
there
maybe in
you
the
go.
wild.
Yes, that one is. And you really have to look and be quiet and see just a little bit of movement, because they can be up there and you have no idea.
Well, now, if they see you, here's one little bit side view of one. If they see you in the wild, would they run away, or would they
No.
kind of just stay there and do their business, and kind of, if you got close, they'd walk away?
Yeah, I mean, she's
like
not
to-
as hairy as me, but
Yeah,
she's
cute.
walking like I am, you know.
Uh-oh, you could have a boyfriend over there. That's pretty cool. Are there any other pictures of orangutans before we move on to the snow bears?
I don't know, JP is
JP, we got anything more with orangutans? Nope. All right, so let's talk about snow bears.
Okay.
Who?
Sun
Sun
bears.
bears.
Sun bears.
I either want to call them sun bears, or snow bears. So sun bears.
Sun bears. They are the smallest bears in the world, and they have adapted to the island because of that. They've become small because they're on an island. It's very interesting. They have a lot of skin around their neck, so if they are caught, they can turn their head all the way around and bite if they want.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I should ask this on the orangutans. Is that the island the only place they're found, or
Mainly.
so they're not really? It's almost kind of like Australia, where you have some very special animals in Australia
Yes.
that aren't on the mainlands, because that's when the island broke off. They went out there and they've developed into their own population.
Yeah.
So that is the home of the orangutan.
That's their main home.
Orangutans considered endangered? Do you know?
Yes.
they are too.
Yeah,
and the
they
same
are.
with the snow bears.
Same with
So
sun
bears. Jeez, sun bears.
Sun bears.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
It doesn't snow there.
yeah, I don't think so. Not in the rainforest like that. Maybe we can put a
Yeah.
picture up of a sun bear. Sun bear. I said
Yeah,
that right.
sun
didn't I?
bears,
So I
yes,
get it.
yeah.
There they are. There he is.
Now they are adorable, and each one of them on their chest has a marking that is very unique for them, like a fingerprint.
Wow. Are they? So there's one guy laying on the branch. Looks like he's kind of enjoying. Now, I assume these pictures you were seeing now are in the refuge also.
It's a refuge, but it's wild as well. They're not as, they just keep them safe. You know, they can go out if they want, but they know they're safe there.
And this, you said, do you have a picture? This run by one individual?
This is one man who has developed this whole program. He is the only man who
We're
knows.
getting mooned by one of them.
Yes,
now.
yeah. There he is in the
Wow.
middle.
Okay, let's hold that for a second.
There he is.
So is he a native also?
Yes, he is.
And he just saw the importance of
He started studying sun bears a long, long time ago, and he knows more about sun bears than anyone in the world.
Wow.
And he's got a whole program with them.
And has he got a whole staff? Is that his staff, or those are the
that's
people?
us. That's
That's
who we
your
traveled
visiting-
with. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That's who we traveled with.
How many days did you stay there at that place? Well, did you do both of these at the same time? Or?
We were all in Borneo together, so they weren't far apart. So we were there for about 10 days. Yeah.
Wow. And I think you told me it took you 2 days to fly over, or 3 days?
Long time, yes.
Now, here's a picture of one. He looks like
Just
he's
stretching
out
up on the tree.
Wow.
And, they have very, very long tongues. So they can get in and pull out termites. And their teeth that they used to use for flesh eating have worn down. So they no longer really eat meat.
Is that genetically worn down?
Just over time, yes.
Wow.
And that now they eat mainly grub and
So they're still carnivores in a sense of eating protein.
omnivores.
Omnivores.
They're omnivores.
Omnivores, but
Yeah.
they're eating the proteins from the insects and stuff like that.
Right. And the berries and everything else they see. Now, because, the rainforest is big, they do have these telescopes where you can view them if they're in that area, and you can put your camera right up to it. So that's where some of these pictures are coming from.
Wow. Again, this place that they're in is an open part of the forest. They can come in and out, and they recognize they're in a safe place. And are they also endangered from the sense of the palm oil plantation?
They're very much endangered, yes.
So,
Yep, they are
wow,
too.
that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. And so they are not meat eaters. They're not chasing around after doing that at all. Wow, that's pretty. And that, what are they? This big or?
They're smaller than Henry.
Okay, so Henry's about 70 pounds.
Yeah, they're probably about, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 pounds, something like that.
And I assume that they aren't real happy if humans come close to them, or are they kind of like?
They're not going to let you close to them. I mean, they'll go up the tree.
Wow, that's
I
fascinating.
mean, we weren't far from them. We were on a platform walking above on in the rainforest. So they would be in a tree that is as close to the camera as I am, but they'd be way up high or whatever. And, I mean, they would see us and observe us, but they weren't bothered. We weren't going to bother them. They weren't going to bother us.
Wow. And do they, when they mate, do they mate for life, or do they mate when they get a chance?
Yeah, they become solo. They're
Wow.
solo.
And I assume that their genetics are such that they ultimately are related to our black bear. Do you know?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think they probably are, but because they're on the island, they have adapted to that and become smaller and lost their teeth to really eat flesh.
Yeah,
So
and I would imagine there's not much flesh for them to go after on the island.
I wouldn't think a
so.
whole lot.
Do we have any other more pictures of them or video of them?
We've got some video
Oh,
and some pictures.
How do we run? Oh, there's a video right now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're slow moving. They look
Almost
comfortable
looks like
and
Henry
lazy.
with a shave.
This one's coming down the tree. You can see a little bit of the marking on his chest. You can see a little bit of the yellow there.
So it's a yellow marking.
It's a tannish yellow marking. Uh-huh. Yep.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I'm watching the video. These guys, you know, if you didn't know that was a sun bear, having been out to the bear refuge that we have in New Sharon, my reaction was that I'm in that refuge watching them try to also rehabilitate the bears so they can go back out there.
Do they do that there?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, wonderful.
We got actually a show. You have to go on. If you're looking up the right
Definitely.
bears in there, I think you can find that they have
Okay.
this refuge out there. We've had them come on and do the show. We actually went to do the show at their place. So sun bears, they're endangered also. They're also on Borneo. Is there any other animals on Borneo that are concerned that you know of off the top of your head? I just thought of that.
Wow, there are lots of animals. Like I'll never forget walking to my cabin and, just arriving, and I see this snake just crawling on the railing, which my friend Rosie and I were like, okay, we will not put our hands on the railings.
Oh, okay.
Because there are tons of interesting.
And you're in this rainforest.
Yes,
So that
yeah.
the vegetation is huge and the animals are different. And I'm not surprised they move slow. It's probably hot and humid there.
It's hot and humid. It rains a lot. The leaves are as big as I am. They lots of hiding places, and it's amazing how the vegetation adapts. Like these trees are huge, and they've put chains and things around them to have suspension bridges from one to the other. The trees actually develop a mold around that so it won't hurt the tree. They develop a growth around the chain so it won't hurt the tree will still expand. Yeah.
Wow. And it
Nature's
probably grows
amazing.
pretty quickly when you do that.
I would think so.
Now, I know that you're involved in another program that you guys are about to kick off.
Yes.
And maybe what we can do is run that video real quickly and talk about that, because we're about 5 minutes left in the show.
Okay.
So, JP, if we could run that little video.
Let me give it just
Yeah,
a little bit of
an
a
introduction. You give it the introduction.
My
That's right.
friend Rosie Emery and myself have come together. She produced a PBS show called Curious Kids.
And there's the
There's the article. We were in a magazine article, and she's won 2 Emmys for the show. And she contacted me and said, let's do a YouTube channel with your animal work and with my work with children. We're all interconnected here. Let's show the kids. So we're kicking off a YouTube channel called Curious Kids Global. And I've got a short little trailer of a young gal who's sort of introducing it all to us.
So, want to run that trailer?
Sure, that'd be
All right,
great.
here we go. We're going to try to do this. Here we go.
I'm curious about wild animals. Are you? Here on Curious Kids Global, we're going to take you around the world.
You'll meet some amazing creatures, like this mama and baby elephant in South Africa. Wow, look at the size of those feet. That's a Bornean sun bear, the smallest bear in the world. I love this cute little meerkat. Look at this lion yawn. Wow. So many creatures to meet and so many stories to tell. I think these baboons like Ruby. From graceful giraffes to big cats like these leopards, and great apes like this male orangutan, animals the world over need our help to preserve their habitats so they can survive. You'll get to know lots of animals, like these amazing cheetahs. Did you know cheetahs are the fastest animals in the world? Subscribe to Curious Kids Global and you too can share some of your amazing animal stories.
We can make a difference. Let's do it together.
Show not up yet on YouTube.
Not quite yet.
So what's the schedule to have it come up?
Hopefully come late fall, it'll be up.
So maybe you'll have, if we come back and do the lions, you might have a better date so people can do that. And we can even put the YouTube site up there so people can see that.
That'd be awesome.
So what's your next adventure? Where are you going next?
Well, I've just bought a home in Maine, so my next adventure is right here.
No, that's
and there's a lot to do in our own backyard
Yeah.
to help the animals.
This is a great state. And we have some unique animals, that are out here that are special.
They are.
And the moosey guys, they're okay. I like them. And they taste good too. But I shouldn't say that. And the deer, they still none of them sacrifice themselves. I've tried, but I just grow them bigger for the next year, so that when I go out there, they're really big. And you're living right now in good old Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon, Maine. Yes.
It's a great place to go.
Yeah, on Flying Pond Lake, and I listened to I was in Androscoggin Lake for 9 years, and I did a study on the loons, ospreys, and eagles. And the same loons would come back every year. I knew where all the nests were, and so now I'm on a different lake, and I get to start the study with those loons and see what's on that lake.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And these refuges that we've talked about, again, if people are interested, and we'll run the site again. Here's your phone number and your website that people can get in touch with. And I've gone to the site like we talked last time, and it shows a lot of pictures, and it talks about some of the things we've just talked about, and talks about how one can get involved if they want to do that.
Yes.
And then we're going to have a YouTube video.
Yeah.
And you're on. What more can you ask for? You're on Talkin' Maine.
Yes,
The
thank
Bowtie
you.
Boys. I think it's great. It's a
I
great show.
appreciate this
So
opportunity.
of the 4 animals, now I don't put the lions in there. Which one's your favorite?
Oh, it's just such a privilege to be able to be in their living room and to experience them and their habitat. I love them all. I don't know.
That's not fair.
Well, those orangutans are pretty adorable.
Yeah, and they're pretty close to us too.
Yes,
I have
they
to
are.
go look up the Clint Eastwood movie for you that the orangutan was in, because he was there and I can remember that. But it's just fascinating to see these animals, and what's so sad is some of our activities are threatening their habitats and their existence. And people might say, well, who cares? Well, it's genetic diversity that we have to worry about, and that they may be one of them, something in their genes is got a cure for cancer and we don't know it. It's like vegetation that we haven't even looked at, and it's going by the wayside because we've got a different population that are asking for different things. And so this kind of work makes it available and makes everybody aware of what's going on.
Absolutely.
Ruby, this has been great.
Thank you so
I
much.
look forward to the next show.
As do I.
Thanks for coming on for
Thank
Talking
you.
Maine with the Bowtie Boys. We'll see you guys next time.